Father's house there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yeah. Walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees and I give the praise. The day was not so moving, but before I go to bed, brother man, I get on my knees and I give the praise. 'Cause things could have been so different if you didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very different if you didn't love me. Job in my house, no man can break it down. Job in my house, no man can break it down. I say job in my house, nobody can break it down. Job in my house, no man can break it down. Wicked people, make no sense, you try. Jah watch over right. Job in my house, no man can break it down. No way. Job in my house, nobody can break it down. I say, Jah build it. Jah build my house. On solid rock I stand. Oh, your Father, oh Lord, they can break it down. The weather keep on changing in a funny kind of way, but I get on my knees and I give the praise. When and what is coming, the weatherman can't say. Still I get on my knees and I give the praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if you didn't love me. Love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if you didn't love me. Job in my house, no man can break it down. I say job in my house, nobody can break it down. Job in my house, no man can break it down. No way. Job in my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Job in my house, no man could break it down. I say job in my house, nobody can tear it down. No way. Jah build it. Me Father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah say. So I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting guns and pieces in my way. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so gloomy if you didn't love me. Love me. I know things could have been so very foggy if you didn't love me. Job in my house, no man can break it down. Job in my house, nobody can break it down. I say job in my house, no man can break it down. No way. Job in my house, nobody can break it down. Tell them he them stop him, mama guy. Jah watch over right. Job in my house, no man can break it down. I say job in my house, nobody can break it down. No way. Job in my house, on solid rock I standing here I am. Job in my house, I'm walking with my Father hand in hand. Job in my house, with your love in my heart I know I can go wrong. Job in my house, His truth and righteousness will make me strong. Job in my house, oh me Lord, I praise you in my song. Job in my house, tell the wicked man I say. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Oh, yeah. Walking in the footsteps of the Lord. I wake up in the morning, and before I eat my bread, brother man, I get on my knees understand what is coming. The weatherman can say, still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so crucial if Jah didn't love me. I say things could have been so very brutal if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Jealous people, stop your mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man could break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can tear it down. No way. Jah build it, me father build my house. Oh Lord. On solid rock I stand. I try my best to live up and to do what Jah say. So I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. But the devil keep on setting guns and pieces in my way. Still I get on my knees and I give Jah praise. 'Cause things could have been so gloomy if Jah didn't love me. I know things could have been so very foggy if Jah didn't love me. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, no man can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. Tell them he them, stop him mama guy. Jah watch over right. Jah build my house, no man can break it down. I say, Jah build my house, nobody can break it down. No way. Jah build my house, on solid rock I standing here I am. Jah build my house, I'm walking with my father hand in hand. Jah build my house, with Jah love in my heart I know I can go wrong. Jah build my house, His truth and righteousness will make me strong. Jah build my house, oh me Lord, I praise you in my song. Jah build my house, tell the wicked man I say don't even try. Jah build my house, whether day and night Jah watching over right. Jah build my house, Jah build it so no man can break it down. Jah build my house, whether rain or sun my house will stand up strong. This song is dedicated to all the heathen and those that think they can change the course of time. Those that fight against the upright in heart and are too intelligent to overstand that the meek shall inherit the earth. Fire! You can't change your master's plan. Higher, 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 higher. You're giving me a constant fight. You try your best to be my light. Why did you do it? Why? You're sacrificing my good name in your quest for fortune and fame. Why did you do it? Why? My faith is in the God Almighty. And what is His will got to be? With blatant lies and in disguise, you come to criticize. But now I hope it's time you realize you can't keep a good man down. Who God bless, no man shall curse. You can't keep a good man down. In Jah I put all my trust. That's why I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising higher and higher. I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising like a blazing fire. Oh me mama, oh God. Yes, I'm rising and rising higher, higher, higher. Hypocrite get a beating. about peace and harmony. These words you said are too easy. Why did you do it? Why? Who give you authority to jeopardize my integrity? Like an educated fool, you've been to many schools and still can't comprehend the golden rule. You can't keep a good man down. You smite the shepherd and scatter the sheep. You cannot keep a good man down. As a man so shall he reap. That's why I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising higher and higher. I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising like a blazing fire. You Mr. Hidden Man, why you fight against Jaja plan? I want to know. I want to know. I'm rising high. Run! With your brainwash education, you tribalize my mission. Why did you do it? Why? I'm not a politician. I'm a culture man with a vision. Why did you do it? Why? It's time you face the reality that none like you will ever stop me. You thought you would prevail, but now you know you fail, because I'm like a tiger on your trail. You can't keep a good man down. A calypso warrior is what I am. You cannot keep a good man down. The more you fight me, you make me more strong. That's why I'm rising, rising. Oh God, I'm rising higher and higher. I'm rising, rising. I'm rising like a blazing fire. You Mr. Hidden Man, you better change your plan.
Fighting I'll never stop
That is what I'm gonna do.
until I reach the top.
I'm telling you.
There is no barrier
So who the captain?
for the calypso warrior.
Jolly string and wear it. Oh, Kumpasa,
Fighting I'll never stop
it's time you know.
until I reach the top.
You got to let me go.
There is no barrier
I'm the son of the Most High,
for the calypso warrior.
and this ain't no mama guy. Rising, rising.
If you know inside your heart clean, please, I beg you don't study them no more. We living in a bad mind society. People refuse to.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott, here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour.
Bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What a bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need
Yes, indeed, always wonderful to be here with you.
you. Know him now.
Saying a special good night to all of you joining us via the YouTube, all of you joining us via the Facebook.
Hey, 'cause everything.
And I'm not too sure if Real FM and We Noise Radio is on with us, but if they are on, to the listeners joining us via that medium, we say a special good night to you. I did get the link up and working tonight.
When you sit down there and go sleep and over already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything when you sit down there and gossip. Yeah, I say I know already. Yeah, yeah. I get a vision last night. Humble yourself and not cry. Turn my vocal sit this down mind. Something in my brain must ignite. But something don't feel right. It's spread my business like bread knife. Grow up and get wise. And always your
So I hope you all are having a fabulous night tonight.
time. It have a special place for the later.
And first of all, I must apologize because we did promise you that from 6:30 we would have been bringing the meeting in St. John, but that meeting was postponed due to the potential for the inclement weather. That meeting, they were having high wind up there and everything, so they had to postpone that meeting to a date to be announced. So you'll be getting that date very soon.
I need to have a special place for them traitors. I walk in hard and you want to remain laid back. You better stay far. Yeah, bad mind I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's a bad mind I see you.
Look, me people, Chris London, where have you been? Chris, everybody been asking for you for the last couple of weeks, man. You can't do that to us, man.
So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. No. Hey.
Chris London, you are just disappearing us. Oh, come on. You know you're the boss, and you know you have to handle that vibes. I don't know, where were you?
Cause everything when you sit down there.
I hope everything is all well and okay with you, because I got worried at a point there. I was wondering if something had happened or so on. I got worried, but it's good to see you out. That just made my night. If nothing else makes my night tonight, the fact that you're there, make my night.
Gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me. Everything when you sit down there and gossip. Yeah, I say I know already. Never me again. To put more.
I mean, Moko and the rest were trying their very best, but they were asking for you on a nightly basis. Moko and Sherma, everybody else was trying their very best to keep up what you do.
All trust in a human being. To this
You know you're important to the thing. I don't know how you can treat me so, man.
respectful ignorance for the day and thing. But
And not just me, us. It's a family.
I nothing I have life and I'm still living. Don't care what you think, yeah. Well, yeah, you're drinking water, but people business you're in. You're running your mouth like sprinter, like Mikey life is in.
Yes, folks, come on. I want to see the numbers going up there because we got a lot to discuss tonight.
About fakeness, come like a pattern. They want to know your business, to talk it on your block with a friend.
In fact, I do a poster intending to speak about certain things. Papa, you have to put that down. We have other things to talk about. All you come in.
Oh, na, bad mind, I see ya. So continue moving along.
Rosemary, good night to you.
No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see ya. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Yeah, cause everything when you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic, so don't come near me.
You just got to admit that these young people out of Carriacou are some of the most talented in the Caribbean. Huh?
Everything when you sit down there and gossip.
Not just in Grenada, some of the most talented in the Caribbean. You see those palm tree vibes guys and them, John and the whole crew, they're just so talented. Huh? And that band Sexual Chocolate, man.
I know already. Yeah, bad mind, I see ya. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you.
Yes, the field marshal is back in the place, man. Chris is there.
No, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see ya. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you, no. Hey, cause everything
Believe me, in your absence, the rest tried very, very, very well. Yeah?
when you sit down there and gossip, I know already. Your lifestyle toxic.
Come on, folks, we got a lot to speak about. Come on. Let me see the numbers reach the proper number, man.
Come near me, everything when you sit down there and gossip. Oh, I know already. Yeah.
Remember, there's not them other people show that us be having 20-something and 40-something people listening, We can't start a proper conversation until we see 600 on, yeah? To make sure we film a tea. Yeah? And you know the little one wrong, you just have to check on him, eh?
Oh, wow. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, I don't need you. Oh, no, I don't need you. What's all bad mind, I see you. So continue moving along. No, need you none, no. Oh, no, 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 no.
All right, folks. Yes, indeed, it is Talking Points, and it's always good to be in here with you. And we've got quite a few issues we've got to speak about. Irvin, today was a kind of day, but I haven't forgotten you on that issue. I will be picking up on that for you. But before I get into our full discussions tonight, I think it is necessary for me to go over, and let me just get them up here, me to go over just the activities that we have coming up. Yeah, the activities that we have coming up. I'm sorry, I already apologize for today's meeting that was supposed to have taken place, but did not get to happen because of the state of the weather. They weren't able to do that meeting. So, yeah, let me just make sure I get this one in place here. Right, yeah. So they weren't able to do that meeting due to the weather. But we do have the meeting taking place on Thursday. So remember this particular one, let me just pull it up here for you so that you all can see for yourselves. Yeah, it's the public meeting of the new National Party. For those of you out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, that's taking place this Thursday from 6:30 p.m. And a heavy, yeah man, new National Party team will be there. You have it being led by the political leader of the new National Party, the Honorable Emmeline Pear. She is political leader and the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew South East. You also have Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, former Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for St. George North East. The Honorable Dr. Clarice Modeste, the Member of Parliament for St. Mark. Deputy political leader of the new National Party, Senator the Honorable Norland Cox, and he's the caretaker of the new National Party for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. She will be there. She's the MP for St. Andrew North East, and nobody do beating Kate. So that will be taking place this Thursday. Kate, here's Carriacou people too, and I hear it's Carriacou people too. I know who's the people in Carriacou, but I hear it's Carriacou people too. Yeah. So that meeting will be taking place this Thursday. And of course, we endeavor to broadcast that meeting for you here on Talking Points. And as we were planning to do today, see, we're all set up and waiting just in case. So that once that meeting is complete, once it's complete before 9 or at 9, we will be able to do the 1 hour at least for you. We don't want to leave you all hanging. Nice, great. So also you have coming up the women of St. George North East. They've got that breakfast sale taking place this Saturday in front of Nick's shop in Bolio, starting from 6 a.m. Go on out and get the best breakfast you might ever breakfast in your breakfast in. Right? Yeah, that starts at $10 out there in front Nick's shop in Bolio. It's breakfast, New National Party, St. George Northeast Women's Committee. They're very active, aren't they? And it starts from 6 a.m. Yeah, I could remember in 2022 advertising thing for the Women's Arm at St. George Northeast. And in 2023, 2024, and in 2025, and we advertise. And the rest of all you, I want to hear all you busy, just like St. George Northeast Women's Group. Let me big them up tonight. We're bigging up the Women's Committee of the St. George Northeast Constituency Branch of the new National Party. All you, give them a little like and give them a little hand clap and so in the comments, because they've been very active. When people are doing good, you have to acknowledge that they're doing good. And these people have been very active. St. George Northwest Youth Group, that's one of the longest existing youth groups too, they're always there too. Yeah, the St. George Northwest Youth Group, they're having their barbecue fundraiser taking place this Saturday as well, so you get breakfast in the Northeast, you get your lunch in the Northwest. All right, so that barbecue is taking place by the Happy Hill Post Office from midday. They're going to have drinks, music, food, so on. And then you're going to see the former political leader, former prime minister, yeah, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. You're going to be around and them kind of thing. Nice. So price of the barbecue, only $20. And that is taking place this Saturday from midday, right there by the Happy Hill Post Office. Look on out for the youth there. So if you're going up on the West Coast or coming down from the West Coast, you could stop and grab your local barbecue. Tell the bus driver, stop, say, watch out, buy a piece of barbecue for you too, man. Stop and just call them and let them hurry up and, set up the thing nice. The new National Party, St. George Northwest, yeah, the branch, no, the St. Andrew, sorry, what am I saying, St. George? The new National Party, St. Andrew Northwest, yeah, that is Mandy. They present their delicious breakfast and lunch at the Birch Grove Community Center. That's taking place Saturday, the 21st of June. So that is going to be not this Saturday, the following Saturday, next week Saturday. That is going to be taking place there at the Birch Grove Community Center. So Mandy and crew. No, there's no Mandy. Mandy is St. Andrew Southwest. Yeah, so that is not Mandy. Yeah, that is Sister Lorena Waldron and the crew out there. Yeah, that's Sister Lorena Waldron. Right? Yeah, man. So, we have to make sure and go out to that one. It's at the Birch Grove Community Center. That is taking place Saturday, the 21st of June. And go on out and support them. And if from what I've seen in the picture, they look like anything to go by. Right. I think we're coming out nice. So they're having breakfast, they're having lunch. Go on out and support them. Nice? Great. The New National Party Support Group New York. Remember, they have an exquisite affair. It's taking place Saturday, the 21st of June, not this Saturday, next week Saturday. You still have time to get that dress, get that suit, get that tuxedo. Yeah, man, make sure you get your outfit and you're looking sharp, right? That's taking place from 9 p.m. next week Saturday at Carriacou Hall, 1963 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11234. All right? And for your tickets, you see the numbers here. Aisha Oliver, Kathy Albert, Wendy Maguire, P.D. Francis, and Sharon Caesar. And of course, in attendance will be former Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, along with political leader, the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, Deputy Political Leader, Senator Norland Cox. And you might see a Rastaman in tow. You might just see a Rastaman. I ain't saying which Rastaman. You might see a Rastaman in tow. All right, tickets only $100. So that's going to be an evening of elegant style and class taking place at the Carriacou Hall, 1963 Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11234. So go on out, get your tickets right here. It's better you buy your tickets early and thing and nice up the thing. You understand? Yeah, next thing ticket finish and you go crying, I didn't get ticket and all kind of thing. Right. St. George Northwest Constituency Branch, they've got a breakfast and barbecue luncheon event that is taking place on Saturday, June the 28th, the final Saturday of this month. So June the 28th at the Bujeju playing field from 7 a.m. until music and drinks on sale, $20 each. Go on out and support. So they're having a breakfast and barbecue event, and that's the St. George Northwest Constituency Branch, and that is taking place at the Bujeju playing field the final Saturday in this month. And of course, you know my little darling, I will never forget her, Kilani, all right, and you're seeing the information there. Help, help, help. Nice? Right. If you want to contact the parents directly, get in contact with me. I'll put you directly in contact with the parents and you could help.
For more information,
but it is helpful, whatever it is. Let's just get this ad now.
contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463. Or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. We certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. We Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you will get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. For more information, contact...
Yes, indeed. That's our good friends there at We Noise. We hope that you're having a wonderful night. Wade, you and the family. Wade, like you forget my number, but it's okay. Me and Wade, cool. Me and Wade, you forget my number, but that's cool, brother. That's real cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Forget your boy. But he's still my boy. You understand? Folks, I'm just looking. I had a document here, and I'm trying to find where I have possibly placed that document. And, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. Before I get into any of the other issues tonight, I want to deal with this one first of all because it affects all of us. And again, in the Gazette, the government Gazette that came out on the weekend, it speaks to the change in price, the consumer price index. So it gives an indication of the movement in the prices of goods and services in the state of Grenada over a particular period of time. So in this instance, it's looking at the consumer price index for the months of March and February 2025 and how those correspond with the months March 2024 and March 2023. And what you are seeing is significant increases in the prices of goods and services. Yeah, so we're seeing increases taking place. Price increases were recorded in the following groupings as follows. Food and non-alcoholic beverages saw a 0.09% increase, and that's over that period of time. Clothing and footwear, housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels saw an increase. Health saw a significant increase there. Transport and communications also saw a significant increase, resulting in increases in the following items. Yeah? Bakery products, pork, poultry, preserved fish, butter, margarine, edible oils, fresh fruit, potatoes, jams, mineral water, soft drinks, fruit juices, clothing, men's clothing, children and infants clothing, clothing accessories, rental for housing increase, electricity increase, pharmaceutical products increase, other medical products increase, medical services increased by one of the largest amounts, passenger transport services and telephone services all increase. Yeah? So, and they're speaking about a drop here, and that is the over comparatively. But when you're speaking here, when compared to last year March, yeah, you're seeing some significant increases in various areas here. So what are these? Rice, you're seeing a 9.24% increase in rice. Yeah, there's a 9.2% increase in relation to rice. And let's just pull that up there. In fact, you know, I think people want to see me too. Yeah, we'll put me on thing and go put the thing there too. Right. Rice. No, not you. Where you come out? No, you we looking for, not you. We're looking for the job there. Where you come out? Now, go your way. Right, nice. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you come back here now. Nice. So I was speaking about the increase in relation to rice of 9.24%, nearly a 10% increase in the price of rice between last year and this year. Now remember, rice is one of the products that was controlled by the Marketing and National Importing Board. Yeah? The importation of rice, that and sugar, those are some of the things that were controlled by the Marketing and National Importing Board, a body which for all intents and purposes no longer exists. And June of last year, we were promised the new entity. Now, after the budget, we were promised that the entity would be available. I think sometime they say towards the middle of this year, we're going to hear about a new entity and so on. So we keep getting the back and forth about we're going to have the new entity. Meanwhile, you and I are being murdered with the price, in the increase in rice. And rice is a basic. Nearly everybody utilizes rice. You hardly hear of people that don't use rice at all and they only use fruits and vegetables. And if they're using fruits and vegetables, look at the increase there. 16.81%. That is the increase that you're speaking about when you're speaking about fruits and vegetables. An increase of 16.81%. So you're spending significantly more money when you go to buy these products. Yeah? Deli meats increase, poultry products, chicken and so, you're seeing significant increases there. Cereal for your baby and your cornflakes and those kind of things, they're increasing as well. Bread, the price of bread, yeah, the production price is increased, and you know they're going to sooner or later they're going to pass that on. You've seen some bakeries within the last year, they have increased their prices on various products. Pasta products, that's things like the macaroni and spaghetti and so on, they increase. Beef increased by 2.42%, pork by 3.45%, mutton by 6.60%. Margarine, for when you're going and using your baking products and so on. So you see where the price increases come, 3.82%. Butter by 2.31%. Again, that's thing you use in your baking and so on. Eggs, you use that in your baking again, 1.22%. Cheese has increased by 0.76%. Milk by 0.76% over the last year, between March and March. Yeah? Preserved fruits, potatoes by 5.57%. Frozen vegetables by 1.70%. Jams and honey by 2.46%. It's a good thing people who could drop a little honey for me when I make a little call. Yeah? And my boy, my boy does handle me properly. Yeah? Rum, fruit juices, soft drinks, and these things. You would see increases in those areas because remember, the government increased the price of sugar. And if you increase the price of sugar, you increase the production costs of the people who making the soft drinks, who making the jams and so on, who's making the fruit juices, who's making the rum. You increase the price of production for them because you increase one of the inputs that they're using. Also, remember that this NDC administration in fact not removed, but they added back taxes on electricity and increased taxes on water. So you increase production for people who are producing these things locally. So anybody that's producing fruit juices and soft drinks and so locally, the price of water has been increased 4.43%. Remember, they've added tax on water that was not there before. They've added price on sugar, and it is affecting the price of things that are produced, like the soft drinks, the fruit juices, the rum, and so on, that are being produced using those things. But out of all these other things, cigarettes, me and Keita, they could increase the price of the cigarettes. Come, stop this thing, man. Stop going day to that thing. Nice, right? I don't mind they increase the price of the cigarettes, you could make the price of cigarettes could increase by 100% for me, it don't matter. Beer has increased by 0.74%. And mind you, again, remember, sugar, water, two are the inputs into the production of those things. So the price of it is going to increase. Yeah? Transportation services by air have increased by 29.91%. Yeah, the government that always flying have not found a way to restrict the cost of transportation by air for Grenadians. So what you used to pay last year, March, you're paying nearly 30% more this year to travel than you were paying last year. Remember, these are the people that do all this simidimi when it comes to the price of fuel, and that will affect the cost of travel. Whether you're talking about travel by air or travel by bus, and you keep hearing people talking, some of the bus drivers talking about the fact that they've been facing increasing prices and fluctuating prices, but they have not been able to change their price of their service. Yeah? Telephone services, those of you that have your accounts with like Flow and so on, you are seeing the increases. Where you used to pay $55, you're now paying $57 and so. So you're seeing the increases in the telephone services. The government has not done anything to bring that cost down. They've allowed it to go up. And in fact, they have done things that have brought the price up. But some of the most important ones here for me are these. Pharmaceutical products, in other words, medication has increased by 0.82%. How does the elderly woman who only take the seed from, she ain't getting the seed again because they say her circumstances have changed? Because some one of her grandchildren get a work and you all decide, now we're kicking her off the seed program and she's an NNP anyway. And she now has to pay that increased cost for pharmaceutical services, but not just that, other medical products. Other medical products, especially for people who are housebound. And you have the different utensils, special utensils you must use for them. You have special equipment you must use for them. And you have special medication that you must use for them. Other medical products have increased by 2.65%. The government has made absolutely no move in budget 2025 or otherwise. They have made absolutely no move to restrict the constant increase, because remember the last time we look at the consumer price index, there was continued increase in these areas, medical products. Medical services have increased by 4.20%. So the price of staying healthy or getting healthy or avoiding dying has increased by significant numbers, and you're still here in the government only talking about we're spending millions of dollars with this company that you're not even sure that company can work within the state of Grenada. You're not even sure that that company can work within the state of Grenada with the Cuban professionals in the system, and if the Cuban professionals leave, the whole system fall down. But medical services have increased by 4 and these are not my figures. These are not Sheldon Scott's figures. These figures are coming from the government of Grenada in the government gazette. So don't go and say align. This is their figures. That's why they don't want you watching these programs. They want you to live in ignorance. Yeah, but we're not going to allow you to live in ignorance. So medical products, 2.65%. Yeah? And I mentioned the telephone services and so on already. Books have increased. Pre-primary and primary education has increased by 4.03%. Yeah? If your children are going to the private schools, especially, you realize that there's an increase there. If you would like to go to the restaurant and so, there's an increase of 6.85%. If you like going out to the restaurants and eat and so on. So there are significant increases. So it's not just like you feeling that when you go and you get your salary at the end of the month, it's finishing faster. Government is also telling you that your money finishing faster. Government is saying to you that you ain't crazy, you ain't mad. The cost of living is going up and up and up. And every time we see that consumer price index, we're continuing to see that there are significant increases in all these areas. And there are measures that could have been taken to restrict parts of this. Again, that increase of 9.24% you're seeing in relation to rice, and also in relation to fresh fruits and vegetables of 16.81%. Both of them could have been restricted had you had the Marketing and National Importing Board in place and operational. Then at least they would have found cheaper ways to get the rice into Grenada, not lower in quality, but lower in price. Get it into Grenada, so that the price would not have been 9.24% increase between last year and this year. That when it comes to fresh fruits and vegetables, they would have provided a market, so farmers would not have stopped producing the amount that they produce, because one of the avenues that they had to get rid of it, the Marketing and National Importing Board, it was there before. They could have gotten, they know if they can't sell it, they could have go to the Marketing and National Importing Board and they would have taken it off their hands. They don't have that now. So if they used to do 1 acre, they're doing half an acre. Or maybe even quarter. Yeah? In a particular product. Because they're not sure on getting sale for it, so they've reduced. That has reduced the amount that is available on the market, and that has increased the price. And then you've had significant weather events over the last year. Is either you had too much rain or you had too much sun. So you had a dry spell and then you had too much rain. And both of them have affected farm production, agricultural production. And what has the government done in relation to that? Ask them what is the plan to deal with if we have a dry spell later this year, or if we have too much rain and flooding and so on, and it is affecting farmers. Ask them what is the plan. Have you heard anything? Yeah? As I said, we have a lot to speak about tonight. You know, that's just the start, man. What? Hey, nearly 9 o'clock already. No. Somebody go and put time back. we need back time. Yeah? Somebody go and find time and tell time it have to wait. And I'm not taking the calls yet. I'm not taking the calls yet, you know. Yeah, I ain't taking calls yet and thing. Right? Because, as I said, we have a lot to speak about tonight, because I was watching a particular program this afternoon, and I heard a statement made, and last night I was talking to you about something, you know, and I heard a statement made on a program earlier, and let me let you all in on what I heard.
Good evening to the Honorable Prime Minister. I have a question, but if someone already asked it, sorry about that. I just tuned in.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to know the present condition of the Prime Minister residence in Carriacou. Could you give us an update on that building and what is taking place there, and how soon you will be renovating or going there in the future? I'd just like to.
Thank you. Right, so thank you, caller, for the question.
So I hope you all have heard the question because I brought it up a little late. Let me take it from the start again. So this is a question. Okay, somebody's trying to reach me. I know this person usually tries to reach me. If there's a problem hearing me, send me a message, bro. If there's a problem hearing me, because I muted that so I could play this. So let me get on to this one. I really want to hear this one. You all, everybody tune in. We want to hear this one properly. Nice? Good.
Good evening.
Good
And
evening.
Good evening to the Honorable Prime Minister. I have a question, but if someone already asked it, sorry about that. I just tuned in.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to know the present condition of the Prime Minister residence in Carriacou. Could you give us an update on that building and what is taking place there, and how soon you will be renovating or going there in the future? I'd just like to.
Thank you.
Right, so thank you, caller, for the question. The building is carded for renovation. We are hoping that the renovation can commence this year. The team from the Ministry of Infrastructure has been working on improvements to the architectural design and to general renovation. As you may be aware, when we assumed office, the building was not livable. It appears as if it had not been lived in for quite a while, outside of the what I would call outer buildings that the security detail was using. The main building itself was not functional, and so it requires some significant work to make it functional, not just for whoever will hold the office of Prime Minister, but all of the support staff that will come with it, the security detail, housekeepers, etc. We are hoping the renovation is, at least from the architectural design, it's mostly internal changes and some additional amenities. We are hoping that the residence can be used as an official meeting place. Because as it stands now, for example, if you have large visiting foreign delegations, based on the current construct of the ministerial complex, there's literally no place to house them, outside of the cabinet room, which to some extent is also a bit cumbersome because you have one significant large table in there with all the chairs around. So we are hoping that we can actually have dedicated space where if you are visiting foreign nationals, other heads of state, you can host the meetings there, both in terms of the ceremonial aspect, the working aspect, and if necessary that, a prime minister also visiting from another country needs a room to sleep over in the night, that we can afford some basic amenities of statehood for visiting colleagues. So hopefully the work will commence, and we expect that once it commences, within 12 months, it should be complete.
Okay. All right, let's just go to this one. Yeah. So, folks, Prime Minister Deacon Amos Mitchell, you lie, and you lie. Yeah? Because, folks, just last night, I believe it was, just last night, I was saying to you that here is the Prime Minister, they're spending $20-something thousand a month. That is within the budget. If you check the budget document for 2025, 2024, you will see that those amounts are being spent in relation to the rental for the property where the Prime Minister is residing at present. There was no plan, 2022, no plan what to do with Mount Royal. 2023, no plan what to do with Mount Royal. 2024, no plan what to do with Mount Royal. When they feel like it, they send some people to cut the bush around the place, but no plan what to do with that facility. Meanwhile, they have been spending significant amounts of money on another property, hundreds of thousands a year on another property that was unnecessary. If since 2022 you won the election, nearly a year, in just a week or so, it will be a year, a week and some days. It will be 1 year since you won the election. In that space of time, you telling me that the Ministry of Planning and so on and whoever now drawing up the designs? And the Prime Minister has said that it would only take 12 months to do the work. But tell me, if it is just internal work, mainly internal work, why it has to take a whole 12 months? Or you hold on the calls. Why does it have to take 12 months to do some internal work? And furthermore, the assertion that nobody lived there, Paula, no. The assertion that no one was living there is absolutely false. I personally visited Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell at Mount Royal. I can point to loads of other people that visited Mount Royal during that period of time. Nothing was wrong with the internal of Mount Royal. If they go and they mash it up since then, that is them. Nothing was wrong with the internal of the Prime Minister's residence. Nothing. If you say you want to upgrade it, no problem. You may decide that is the old style. You want to put in a new style. You want to change the furniture, so on. Tillman Thomas had decided he wanted to do that. And he did it, and then he operated, I think, in and out of there. Yeah, sometimes I think he was up in St. Patrick and sometimes he was down. But at the end of the day, what he is speaking about is contained nowhere in the 2025 budget. Let me explain to you. If you are going to do a project, a major infrastructural project like this, for instance, this is a major infrastructural project. It is not a fly-by-night thing. This is going to cost hundreds of thousands, probably even into the millions. If you're going to refurbish and expand it into what he's saying a meeting place, that means you're going to make a diplomatic center, which is what I was saying last night. Now they won't come to you and they're going to say that they're doing a diplomatic center. Hold on now, come to the phone lines. That what they're going to do is say that they're going to do a diplomatic center, because that was the model that Trinidad used. Trinidad found another place of residence for the Prime Minister for a period of time. They announced early up, between this period and this period, we're going to be doing some refurbishment on the Prime Minister's residence, and they relocated the Prime Minister and they're doing it. Even the incoming administration last month in Trinidad, the Prime Minister is operating out of her home, and they've said that there needs to be some refurbishment done to the Prime Minister's residence. So they are now going to do what work they have to do to the Prime Minister's residence. They are getting terms and conditions, what needs to be done, what they're going to add, what they're going to take out, all of that. And they have said that, and they're working on that. Yeah? So you have a situation where this Prime Minister is lying to you. And I can tell him straight he's lying. Listen, if the ministerial complex has to do some retrofitting, if they have to change out the carpets as they did years ago, they had to take out the carpets and put in tiles, and so because the carpets was keeping dust, it was affecting people asthma, all sort of things, so they take out the carpets in different areas, they put in tiles, all those kind of things. When you check the budget for that year, you see retrofitting to the ministerial complex. You might either see it under Ministry of Works or one of those departments. When you look under the budget there, because what you hear read on budget day is a budget statement that gives a broad overview of major projects that the government intends to do. The budget document, as I've pointed out to you on numerous occasions, is a thick document. Can go as much as 400, even up to 600 pages long. And it details, it itemizes every single cent that government is going to spend. So it says in there, for instance, that retrofitting Prime Minister's residence, that might fall under the Prime Minister's ministry, that may fall under the Ministry of Works. And in this government, because you know some people like to have their hand in Italy, it might end up under MIT. So you could check under MIT, you could check under the Ministry of Infrastructure and Development, and so you can check under the Prime Minister's ministry. Any of you, get a copy of the 2025 budget. I challenge you to show me where there are any funds allocated for what the Prime Minister is speaking about there. I challenge you to show me that. I challenge him to show me which part of the budget that was just passed a couple months ago, which part of that budget speaks to the refurbishment of the Prime Minister's residence. Mr. Prime Minister, you lie. And you know you can tell he lie? I know the Prime Minister better than a lot of people. Let me show you something. Watch his face when they ask the question. Watch how his countenance changes. Watch the frown and that kind of thing. It's like, God, boy, how they could ask me that one, boy? Watch the face.
Good evening.
Good evening to the Honorable Prime Minister. I have a question, but if someone already asked it, sorry about that. I just tuned in.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to know the present condition of the Prime Minister residence in Carriacou. Could you give us an update on that building and what is taking place there, and how soon we will be renovating or going there in the future? Just like to.
Thank you.
Right, so thank you, caller.
Yeah, let's see that look on that face there. That is the stress look. We have a call on the line. Hello, caller, go right ahead.
You beat me to it, but I wanted to say you lied
I ain't beat
and
you to
he
it. I ain't cutting what I say.
lied.
I ain't cutting what I say to let you know caller. Saying what I
Well,
say.
I back you up 100%. He's lying. The Prime Minister is looking at us and lying to our face.
My brother, if you look at the budget
Sheldon.
document, there is nothing like that in the budget for 2025. He's lying.
Even before you go there, that was a place that I visited regularly, both officially and unofficially, to meet and talk with Dr. Mitchell, the Prime Minister at the time. The night of the election, up until the day of the election, the night of the election, after the results came out and we lost the election, I lost my seat. When I closed the office, I went directly to that location and I spent about 2 hours there with Dr. Mitchell that night. I must have left there sometime after 10 minutes to 11 that night. And Dr. Mitchell was there. He stayed there. That's a fact. There's no ifs, ands about that.
But my brother, the auxiliary staff, the people who work there, the maids, etc., who work there could tell you that he was there. The people who clean the grounds could tell you he was there. The police officers who were part of his detail and who were guarding the facility, they can tell you that he was living there. The neighbors could tell you that he was living there. The neighbors, the people who live in next door could tell you that the Prime Minister was living there. Dr. Mitchell was there.
Those that are in the hierarchy of the police force that are there now knows that he was there, right? Now, you talk about his face. I'll give you another telltale sign. If you play back, look at his hand when the caller start asking the question and you realize where the question was going. That nervous twitch with his hand. He started all of a sudden playing steel pan with the chair.
You played dominoes against him before.
You understand? Because you
know the telltale signs when he have a bad hand.
So, I mean, come on, that's my profession. I can sit there and that came there like an interrogation for him, right? And it's high time that the Prime Minister would look at us, the tax-paying citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pretty Matnik, and blatantly lie to us. No, the other point is, right? Well, you did say it's 1 year since the election. It's 3 years. It will be you say it will be 1 year in a week and some.
No,
it will be 3 years.
If I said 1 year, it's
I know you misspoke, right? And if my memory serves me correctly, I think in that first budget, there was something that was allocated for where he's currently at. They did do some modifications and some repair there. So if they was interested in fixing that place, that would have been done in the very least the end of 2022 into 2023. We are now in 2025 going into 2026. And as you rightly point out, there's nothing in the budget. I have a copy of the budget. And there's nothing in there that indicated any repairs being done. So to look at us and play us for fool and to lie to us, I mean, that's dishonesty at the highest level. Good night.
I would like them to point to the part of the budget either under MIT, Ministry of Infrastructure, or Prime Minister's Ministry, and that says repairs to the Prime Minister's residence. Yeah, I want them to point me to. That's a major project. It should be in there. So if it's not there, I can guarantee you it's not there. I can tell you that. All right, my brother.
We were told we were told that we want the Prime Minister to live there overlooking certain areas, but I guess now they probably realize that they would need those areas. They would need River Road and Sanssouci and Dabo for the upcoming elections. But it's too little, too late. So any repairs that's going to be done, our esteemed Prime Minister in waiting, the Honorable Emmeline Pierre of the New National Party, would be staying at that residence.
But you realize with the time frame that he's given, he has no intention of staying there.
Tell him go ahead and repair it so that our esteemed Prime Minister would be taking up residence in that residence.
Yeah, he has no intention of staying there. All right. Indeed. Okay, my brother. Yes, indeed. 41473 4407377. Nah, you mustn't lie like that. Oh God. It's easy to prove your line. It's easy. Show us the part of the 2025 budget, because if that project is being done, it has to be a major project. It is not a project that you just come up with. It's supposed to be a project that you thought of when you first went there and you viewed the place in 2022 and you say, now we can't stay here. That from since then, the project has to be funded and placed into the national budget. It's not being paid for by Deacon Mitchell's money. It's being paid for by the Grenadian taxpayer, and therefore it has to be accounted in the accounting system that accounts for the money of the Grenadian taxpayers. So when you go through the 2025 budget, there must be that allocation that is made there under one of the votes, under the Prime Minister's vote, under the vote for the Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, or under the Ministry of Infrastructure and Works. Two of the ministries are actually under his watch. Two of the ministries, the Prime Minister's ministry and the Ministry of Infrastructure and so on, is under the Prime Minister. So what is in the budget there? He must know what is in the budget there. He's the line minister, he's the man in charge. He's the head honcho with a poncho. So he is supposed to know. So I am calling him out and I'm saying that he's lying. I'm calling him out and saying that there is nowhere in the 2025 budget that makes provision for that. The only thing is if he decides that he wants to go in August or September with a supplementary budget and then place it inside there. But as it is right now, it is a lie. It is not truthful. Yeah? It is not true. And I'm saying to anybody, same as the last caller, he has a copy of the budget, the last caller has a copy of the budget. I'm saying same as anybody. I'm telling any of them, show me in the national budget where there's a allocation for fixing Prime Minister's residence. Yeah? For over a year and more, we've been speaking about this situation. And we've been saying, when you check the budget, there's no allocation. Listen, you can even make allocation in tranches. You can put some money there. So you can say, okay, we're spending $700,000 on this project. So we're putting $200,000 right now for the month for 2025. And that $200,000 is for soil testing, testing your electricity and water connections and so on, your architectural drawings and so, for the company that's going to do that, to come up with the concept of what you want to do. In the budget as well, it's going to say $700,000, but it shows that in 2025, you're spending $200,000. Then you may have that you're spending $300,000 next year for preparation and to get to a certain stage of the work. So in all you spend $500,000, you have $200,000 remaining, and that $200,000 may be scheduled for 2027 when the work is due to be finished. So you have enough money there to complete the final bits of the work according to the schedule that you have. So while the entire project may cost $700,000, you may have it split up over a 3-year period. You may have it split up over a 5-year period. You may have it split up over a 2-year period. That hasn't happened for this project. There's nothing in any budget for 2025 in relation to repair Prime Minister residence. Stop lying to the Grenadian people. Don't do it. Because some of us out here does read. Some of us out here does research. And some of us out here know very well that what you're saying is untrue. That would have been mentioned in the budget. You telling me that you getting lashed all the time in relation to Prime Minister residence. You had budget. You talk as Prime Minister, as Minister of Infrastructure, and the Williams talk as MIT. Then you had in the Senate, where you had various people that could have take up the issue and talk about it. None of all you mention it. But now that you've been stuck directly by some citizen, and whoever you are, citizen, well done, a citizen has decided to ask you the question directly, and your hands start to ting, and all kind of things, that your face start to squinch, and all kind of thing, and your eyes close down, and your face start to give out the various cues, and then you come and spew out that lie. Come on, man. Prime Minister, no Prime Minister, stop lying for the people. Don't do that. It's not good. Don't do it. We're taking your calls. Let me see somebody saying here to me. What they're saying here? Someone is saying that they worked at that facility. And they said, Sheldon, they worked at that facility. And the Prime Minister heard what you, Sheldon, said last night. Their company was working at that facility up until the point in time that the Prime Minister won, and that Dr. Mitchell was living there. So when the Prime Minister comes out, in fact, final time, I know some of them don't like to hear it, but final time, let's hear the Prime Minister in relation to this issue. Let's hear him for the final time on this issue. Well, the final time right now, not for the night. We will hear him again, yeah? Let's hear him on this one.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to the Honorable Prime Minister. I have a question, but if someone already asked it, sorry about that. I just tuned in.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like to know the present condition of the Prime Minister residence in Carriacou. Could you give us an update on that building and what is taking place there, and how soon you will be renovating or going there in the future? I'd just like to.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you, caller, for the question. The building is carded for renovation. We are hoping that the renovation can commence this year. The team from the Ministry of Infrastructure has been working on improvements to the architectural design and to general renovation. As you may be aware, when we assumed office, the building was not livable. It appears as if it had not been lived in for quite a while, outside of the what I would call outer buildings that the security detail was using. The main building itself was not functional, and so it requires some significant work to make it functional, not just for whoever will hold the office of Prime Minister, but all of the support staff that will come with it, the security detail, housekeepers, etc. We are hoping the renovation is, at least from the architectural design, it's mostly internal changes and some additional amenities. We are hoping that the residence can be used as an official meeting place, because as it stands now, for example, if you have large visiting foreign delegations, based on the current construct of the ministerial complex, there's literally no place to host them outside of the cabinet room, which to some extent is also a bit cumbersome because you have one significant large table in there with all the chairs around. So we are hoping that we can actually have dedicated space where if you are visiting foreign nationals, other heads of state, you can host the meetings there, both in terms of the ceremonial aspect, the working aspect, and if necessary that, you know, a prime minister also visiting from another country needs a room to sleep over in the night, that we can afford some basic amenities of statehood for visiting colleagues. So hopefully the work will commence, and we expect that once it commences, within 12 months, it should be complete.
Come.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah. Somebody tell me, and they're correct. I think that the Prime Minister, if he wants to know if anyone was living there, should speak to Mrs. Delma Thomas, the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwest. She was at that facility days before the general election. She knows for a fact because she has been at that facility several times. So she knows the facility, she knows where they, and she knows that Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell was living there. I find sometimes these people just ask questions they could have easily go and ask number 10, you know. Sometimes they just say things where they could have easily go and ask number 10 about. Because Mrs. Delma Thomas knows for a fact that Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell was living at that facility. So when the Prime Minister come and talking about it, look like nobody wasn't living. What stupidness you're talking, man? What, you know, let us come with this nonsense and all kind of thing and just get man vex. And so 14734407377. Only had a call now before I play our next clip. Yeah? Only had a call now before I go and play our next clip, you know. Because you know what? I was looking at newspapers over the weekend, and I remember seeing this article there. I remember seeing this article in the Informer newspaper. I'm pretty sure that is Roll Patterson, most likely write that. Most things coming out there is Roll. In relation to the problem that people were getting to receive building materials in Carriacou because government had not paid its bills there. Yeah? I remember this is the same government who was talking about they get CRIF money and they get pile of money under CRIF, and even just during the press conference recently, I didn't have time to pull that clip, but during the press conference, somebody, if you had time to pull that clip, send it to me. You had the MP for Carriacou speaking about they spent $40-something million on building materials and so in Carriacou. You spent 40-something million, but the business store owners, they reached to the stage, and they, knowing the Carriacou businesses that deal with building materials, knowing the people there, they would not do that to Carriacou people unless it was a very, very serious situation that they really could not deal with that at that point in time. Yeah? That they stopped giving out building materials because there was some $3 million that was owed to those businesses and so in Carriacou. Now I want those businesses in Carriacou to tell me if they get their money. Because according to the Prime Minister, that issue is resolved, and if all they don't get the money yet, all they go get the money. Let me.
WhatsApp DM here.
Let me
This person
hear.
is asking, patrons of Carriacou being given financial assistance by the government, to purchase materials in hardware stores, Hubbards and Paddy's after the hurricane, are unable to buy materials from said stores due to previous outstanding invoices not being paid by the government. When will this be resolved?
The matter is being resolved. So we have to appreciate what happened in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. You had a disaster of significant magnitude. So it means, in a sense, all systems, including the government systems, would have been challenged. And so what you had is a situation where this is not business as usual. You would have had to support not just the usual government payments for staff and so on. You were literally dealing with everything, from the cleanup to the removal of the boats, to even the hardware stores themselves, having to also deal with their staff and their own internal accounting systems and so on. So what would have happened is, obviously, we focused largely on making sure that people had the materials. And remember, the government works in a budget cycle. So if invoices were not processed and paid by the end of the budget cycle, which traditionally would have been December, we would have granted an extension to March, because obviously we didn't read the new budget until April. And so with that process, you would have delays, because you would have to essentially wrap up the first accounting period and then get into the second.
Folks, and all the Prime Minister is saying there, just kindly remember that in January, that the Minister of Finance announced that the government had secured $200 million to continue the operation of government because the budget was late. Yeah? Minister of Finance, Mr. Dennis Cornwall, at a government press conference at that point in time, said to the nation to continue the operations, including sorting out issues regarding Beryl, that the government had secured, I think, if I'm remembering the figure correctly, was $200 million. I think they had issued a special warrant or so. $200 million that they had secured. So there were not supposed to be any situation that payments were not being made, because according to the Minister of Finance, they had secured $200 million to do what had to be done. When you listened last week to the press conference, you heard the MP for Carriacou talking about some 48 million or so. We're gonna try and see if we can find that one though. Let's finish here this piece.
While not stopping the action, so to speak. So what we've done is to since reallocate funds, more funds to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, so that we could begin to ensure that some of these firms are paid the outstanding sums. They may not have.
But why do they have to reallocate funds? The amount of money that they got under CRIF is way more than $3 million. The amount of money that they've got from other sources, even donations just from countries in the Caribbean, far surpass $3 million. People of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, especially those of you in Petit Martinique, all you see that $40-something million, they're just breaking down the ground to do the Petit Martinique Health Center. They're not breaking ground to do that. Yeah? I mean, they just find money to do what they had to do, you know. So when the MP from St. John have to get her father to build the wall in Grenada by the medical center, they just find the money for them kind of thing. That's why I hear the MP for St. John, her father is the one that get the contract to do the wall by that that medical center in Grenada, the big wall they're fixing up. Right, I ain't drive up for a little while. But the father that get them job, so they just find money to do things when it involves them and their people. Yeah, they just find money there. So let me hello, good night. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. Good
Yeah,
night.
Sheldon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I heard somebody they call and talk about the Grenada resident, and then they talk about the police station where the men was staying. He's not in a good state. This man lying bad now. This man don't understand. I live in that area up here. I can tell you that place was good now. When the parents was staying there, they was good. And yeah, nobody staying in that house where the police used to stay. They take a set of bush now. Right? So this guy them just lying for people. Right? Right now about now where the parents are now is a set of police staying inside it and they're guiding it. Why they guiding it? Nobody there inside and they're guiding it. Yeah? And this place, nothing wrong with this place. They just have to do what they have to do and go in the place. I don't understand this guy about what they feel people watch what around. I live in the area up here seeing what taking place.
That's what I said, you know. I had a feeling somebody might have called from the area because you all are living right there. You are seeing it.
Yeah,
You all
I
know
live in
that
there.
Dr. Mitchell was living there.
Exactly, because even this guy, Tillman come and stay. Tillman used to stay, spend a short while and go. That's how he should do it.
Oh boy. All right, my brother. Thank you so very much for your input.
Right.
My goodness, yes. All you hear from somebody in the area itself, but the Prime Minister and them trying to give a particular impression. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah? They're trying to give a particular impression. So they're making that kind of statement. Yeah? Then let me see if I can find the statement in relation to Carriacou. And that's what I'm trying to find. What is this? Yeah, I'm trying to find the statement that was made in relation to Carriacou and so on, the amount of money that was spent in Carriacou, right? And come on, somebody help me. Somebody who could find it. Yeah? Somebody who could help me find it so that we could see what was said at the press conference in relation to that. And in addition to that, on the NDC program just the other day, the Prime Minister is saying there that they're going to be putting some more resources into Carriacou. That's not what the Minister Gloria Thomas, was saying. Last week on the NDC Heartbeat program, she was saying that it is the end of the burial recovery program. That is coming at the end of July. So I don't know what money they're putting into it again for the next couple of weeks. But she was saying that they're coming to the end of the burial. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah. She was saying they're coming to the end of the burial program. Right? The hurricane relief. And I'm trying to find both of them. You see, it's me alone, eh? It's me alone. I can't find them to get them easy as before. It's me alone. Right? Yeah, JJ can't do it yet. Don't worry, I'm training him. Just now you could be able to do it. Nice? Yeah. So that, I'm trying to find that. Somebody give me a call, 440-7377, 1473-440-7377, and you can get on to tonight's program. Yeah? So you're hearing that the Prime Minister say all your hardware and thing in Carriacou, all your money ready. Yeah, so all you organize and go for all your thing, all your money ready and thing, all you could go and get all your money. All right? And let me see, yeah, I'm trying to find the thing, man. I'm trying to find them. You see, there's so much things inside here that it does be difficult to find things at the time. Yeah? Right, let me see if this, no, that had nothing to do with it. No, I'm trying to find it. Right? Yeah, let me see if I can find it there. Give me 1 second, folks. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we tell long time to get with the program. We causing it. Tell them straight we causing it. We not switch, we not change up. They inside of it non-stop. But top the top, we don't care, cause it's full enjoyment in the air. In a different state of mind, yeah, we out.
All right, I think I may have located the statement in relation to burial, because you hear the Prime Minister saying they're going to be putting more money towards burial and that kind of thing, but that is not what the Minister is saying.
The disaster, a lot of work in Carriacou was done, and in the north, the other parishes were slightly affected, but they were affected, and we're hoping to conclude the burial response by end of July. End of July, because you must have a window where you operate for response,
Right.
and then you move on. You can't be responding to July, because you must have a window where you operate for response,
Right.
and then you move on. You can't be responding to a disaster for forever.
Well, of course
Yes,
not.
and what we recognize is that we need to go back to the regular housing program, because a lot of people are on the waiting list and they are waiting. We had to set that program aside a bit to focus on the burial response.
Right.
Yes. So although some persons receive housing whilst we were doing the response, we were mainly focusing on burial response. So we want to conclude the burial response by the end of July,
Right.
so we could continue with the regular housing program. And we've been doing quite a lot. The MIT, Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation, was assisting us in that area, but once we conclude the burial response, MIT should be stepping out of house building if they build any houses for people to pay for it. Yes. Yeah, they only came in to assist because of the burial
Right.
impact
Burial
and the
issue.
response.
Yeah. All right. So that means that come the end of July, if you ain't get your house yet, you have none to get. Yeah. If you ain't get your free house yet, you have none to get. Let me say it again to the people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique, especially those of you in Petit Martinique who were treated more than unfairly. If you ain't get your house by the end of July, according to the minister, you have none to get. Yeah. You do have none to get. 1473-440-7377. Camille Teresa Scott, a special good night to you, my dear. I hope that you're having a fabulous night tonight with your lovely self, and that all is well and okay with you. I ain't fine to hear your voice today. All right. No, me say the Prime Minister that say that all. Let me play the Prime Minister again here, man.
And I have a WhatsApp DM here. This person is asking, patrons of Carriacou being given financial assistance by the government to purchase materials in hardware stores, hubbards and paddies after the hurricane are unable to buy materials from said stores due to previous outstanding invoices not being paid by the government. When will this be resolved?
The matter is being resolved. So we have to appreciate what happened in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. You had a disaster of significant magnitude. So it means, in a sense, all systems, including the government systems, would have been challenged. And so what you had is a situation where this is not business as usual. You would have had to support not just the usual government payments for staff and so on. You were literally dealing with everything, from the cleanup to the removal of the boats, to even the hardware stores themselves, having to also deal with their staff and their own internal accounting systems and so on. So what would have happened is, obviously, we focused largely on making sure that people had the materials. And remember, the government works in a budget cycle. So if invoices were not processed and paid by the end of the budget cycle, which traditionally would have been December, we would have granted an extension to March, because obviously we didn't read the new budget until April. And so with that process, you would have delays, because you would have to essentially wrap up the first accounting period and then get into the second accounting period, all the time while not stopping the action, so to speak. So what we've done is to since reallocate funds, more funds to Carriacou and Petit Martinique, so that we could begin to ensure that some of these firms are paid the outstanding sums. They may not have received the checks as of today immediately, but certainly we expect that by the end of Friday, most of them should be well on their way to having the funds paid. But that is going to be an ongoing issue because obviously Carriacou and PT Martinique are going to, in a sense, suck up a lot more resources than ordinarily they.
But how they go suck up a lot more resources when Minister Gloria Thomas has said that only wrapping up by the end of July? Yeah? That you can't just continue dealing with it. Napkin fall and make me feel thing run on my foot. Yeah. So Minister Gloria Thomas has said that how come the end of July, that is the end of it. So what are you talking about? Somebody ain't being truthful to us. One all your line.
This is something that's going to be ongoing. There will be reallocation of funds from other votes to continue supporting the rebuilding and repair efforts in Carriacou and PT Martinique.
But that is not what Gloria just tell us. And we hear Gloria from last week Sunday, the same day she was talking about the houses built under NDC was a disaster. Who lying? Is Deacon Mitchell lying or is Gloria lying? Is Gloria being truthful and Deacon lying, or is Deacon being truthful and Gloria lying? Somebody lying because the story ain't the same.
Addies, whether it's Hubbards or any other firms, should have no fear that the government will meet and will continue meeting the obligations. And we want to thank them for working along with us in what has been an extraordinarily difficult time for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique.
In 1 month and 3 weeks, as far as we are hearing, well, 1 month and not full 3 weeks, we are hearing from your minister that is the end of that. So, I mean, one all you have to tell us which one lying, because clearly one of you are lying. It's clear. One of you are lying. For the folks trying to call, sorry about that. I fix the phone line now. Clearly, one of you are lying. Come on, man. Are you serious? And folks, that is not all it. I decided to go in and take a look at peep at the
Integrity
news.
Commission.
And let me just credit GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network, for this particular story that I saw there. I saw two stories there that kind of piqued my interest tonight. And let me get onto the first one here.
Of a complaint filed by talk show host Jenny Simon, alleging that 3 public officials have breached various laws and regulations. The complaint references Minister Andy Williams, Special Envoy Andrea St. Bernard, and Senior Public Officer Nicole Clark. Simon claims that Minister Andy Williams received over 100,000 EC dollars from a government project contractor, while Andrea St. Bernard and Nicole Clark were accused of actions that violate financial laws or regulations.
Right? And you now saying it never happened. After you make wrong, beat wrong, I am saying it. And I am asking you, Mr. Andy Williams, if that is not true, I think I must be saying this about more than a year now on this show. Sue me. Sue me if it's not true.
The complaint cites specific breaches of the Code of Conduct for Individuals in Public Life, which requires public officials to be honest, impartial, and efficient, and avoid conflicts of interest. Simon's complaint was filed under Section 41 of the legislation, which allows individuals to file written complaints with the Commission, providing evidence and particulars to support their claims. The Integrity Commission's chair, Gillian Bristol, promised to give due consideration to Simon's complaint. However, her term expired on May 31, 2025, and the new commissioners are yet to be announced. It remains to be seen how the investigation will proceed. If the allegations are substantiated, the public officials in question could face consequences for their actions.
Yeah, so there it is from... There it is from, let me just take it, yeah, there it is from the GBN, and GBN we'd like to thank you for, we didn't ask, but we just take, but we'd like to thank you for that. And the thing is this, they planning to sue us, they planning to jail us, all of them were doing wrong, we calling your name in Parang. Jenny, they planning to sue us, why, they planning to jail us. All of them were doing wrong. We calling their name in Parang. So, many of you may not have known, but Ms. Jenny Simon has approached the Integrity Commission in relation to this issue, and of course, they will at some point have to call her in so that she can come and provide face-to-face some of the information that she has. Yeah, they will have to do that. But now you're hearing the Integrity Commission saying, hey, we got the information, but we can't operate on it because legally, we can't operate on it now because we are not legally appointed. That their term of appointment has now expired. So their term of appointment as the chair, etc., and members of the Integrity Commission has now expired, and that they therefore have to be reappointed before they could look at that. Well, knowing this government, let me say today, the 10th day, you know I like to say the day I saying things on. So they could use AI and things, but the truth is here, right? So today, the 10th day of June, 2025, they ain't going to appoint no members to the Integrity Commission in a hurry. They ain't going to do it. They're going to drag their foot for months. And if possible, straight up to the general election, they're going to drag their foot and not appoint members to the Integrity Commission unless you and I, the Grenadian people, pressure them to do so. They will not appoint. Now imagine, there's a serious matter there involving 3, not 1, 3 public officials. A serious matter has been brought before the Integrity Commission. Additional to that, you have a government MP, not a minister, but a government MP, who has openly stated that he has not completed his filing to the Integrity Commission. We ain't hear nothing about that. He has come out and said no, that when he's asked the question directly, that he has not completed, Ron Redhead, that he has not completed his filings to the Integrity Commission. At a point in time, we also heard that the Attorney General had not completed. We don't know if she's completed now, because I find it very surprising that you have a member of the ruling administration who did us talk about integrity and all this kind of nonsense. As far as they are concerned, it's nonsense because they don't believe in it. The party that believes in integrity and transparency, and so is the New National Party. We put in place the Integrity Commission. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell made sure on returning to office in 2013, one of the first pieces of legislation to come to the Parliament of Grenada was integrity in public life and anti-corruption. Those were 2 of the first pieces of legislation that came to Parliament. And he made sure that he was the first person that went and declared his assets. And then he came out and became one of the only people to publicly declare his assets. You ever hear this Prime Minister declare his assets, or any member of his team declare their assets? They ain't declaring publicly, and right now you're hearing that at least one, and there may be others, have not declared their assets to the Integrity Commission. And I think probably that's another question that needs to be asked of the Integrity Commission. If there are outstanding people who have not made their filings, you might very well hear that some of those people like the Andrea St. Bernards, etc., who are supposed to be filing in various capacities, one, as one of the diplomatic corps, and secondly, as the chairperson of the Grenada Development Bank, that these people ought to have filed their declaration already. I wonder if they have done so. Yeah? But this is the people like to point their finger in people's face and call them corrupt. Why they ain't call and talk about the chicken farm now? All they get quiet on the chicken farm. Talk about chicken farm again. All they should brave now. Talk. Call and say chicken farm. See if all you end up like a piece of KFC. Talk about chicken farm now. All you must do. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Sheldon Scott, good night, my darling.
Scott. What's up?
Ade, good night. I was already chatting with Miss Sonny. He called me to know what's going on with me.
Lovely.
So I hear when you say good night, he heard you say good night to Camille Sheldon Scott. Good night to the Grenadian people. Good night to everybody. Yes. Always tuning in, Sheldon. Even if I don't call, always tuning in,
But if I don't hear your voice or I don't see a message,
I know. Right. Yeah, yes. I want to say good night to Dr. Mitchell. Good night to you, sir. That man is a good man. And anybody telling Miss Kami said this, he good to me. He good to me, Sheldon. And people, Grenadians who listening, do not be ungrateful to people when they good to you. Always remember the kindness, and God will always bless him. I'm telling you. Sheldon, our breadfruit. Our breadfruit.
Girl, I see you showing a last our breadfruit day. We
Them breadfruit bigger than me.
The breadfruit
Why?
bigger, the breadfruit bigger than my head, and my head are real bigger.
Hey, I'm telling you, Papa, God bless me. God bless that man. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. And he's not the Prime Minister of Grenada now. He's an ordinary citizen. But Claudius Mitchell, he will still take care of people. He still come in. He still pass in. What does do all in Grenada? A caution you for him. Again, all you, a lot of us, we forget. And I hear you advertise they having the barbecue.
Barbecue Saturday, the youth.
Saturday, please, the Lord.
Saturday, please, the Lord.
I cannot ease up the little meat and thing because of the food, but I will give them a donation. When I sell me cocoa, I want to break up and drop a donation from my party. You hear me?
Of course.
Good night to Mr. and Ben Hartsford and to everybody. Mr. What? Good night. Good night to everybody. What a day.
Of course. We just have to make sure. And you see, in the comments sometime, I just get little comments, wake at me.
Yeah.
So I must ask for you. If
I
I don't
listening, yes, anyhow. Good night to everybody. I lie down. Bye-bye.
All right, my dear. You have a good one.
Yeah. Patty and Matthew, oh God, oh, should have killed me. Patty and Matthew, should have killed me. Patty, I love you, darling. Oh God, my child.
You know that we people.
Yes, you're always listening. Yes, that's right. Good night, Grenada. Bye. Love you all.
Love you as well.
Yeah.
That's yes indeed. That's Auntie Kiami. That's how JJ does say Auntie Kiami. Yes, indeed. I must hear that voice, you know. Yeah, nice. 1473-440-7377. That's the number to call and get on to the inside. So we want to know who talking the truth in these things. Yeah, we find either Auntie Glow lying or the Prime Minister lying, but somebody lying, Jed. Auntie Glow, don't let number 10 come and take your position in NDC to run for the seat. Now, if you go and sit down there and just let number 10 do that, well, I do understand. Anyway, go ahead, partners. Hello?
Good night, Sheldon. Good night, Talking Points. Good night, Miss Kami. I hope you feel a little bit better. It's past, but I'll be busy on the job, so I can't mistake.
People sending the love in the comments there to Miss Kami.
yeah, man. I'll see Miss Kami, but I'll be busy, so when I pass, and I can't stick.
Yes.
Sheldon, we're going on almost 3 years. Well, I will say 3 years and some months because the campaign, I will come to campaign what NDC was doing also. You understand? Sheldon, I don't know for the life of me. I cannot support a political party and support the wrongs that they do. You have to be a big man and man up. Sheldon, since day one, you have members of elements of this NDC who became ministers and MPs. And Dr. Mitchell was warning Grenadians. Literally warning Grenadians. You know, these men get so emboldened now that they feel now that the NMP are people of Grenada who don't support the NDC can say whatever they want and they could do that and it's that. I mean, come on. You tell me after 3 years you have ministers or MPs still in declare their assets and ministers who have never had a job before in their life.
And here's something, brother. That one MP is the one that we know because he was asked the question and he answered. There more than likely are others who have not done so as well, but you haven't got the opportunity to ask them or the Integrity Commission because according to somebody, how convenient at a point in time that you have something like this before the Integrity Commission, their term has run out and there have not been reappointments.
So that is the reason why that is the reason why the said minister was emboldened in a what they call a press conference or whatever that was, the anger management class or whatever. they was emboldened to say what they were saying and who they want to sue and who they want to. You see, these are the things where you put these men in the front line to make it look is a diversion tactics. And since day one, I've been saying that this gentleman went to a Tonga meeting and say, "What? Do it now." They go buy into it. You see all this nonsense? You see the other PM, the actual PM is on the ground now. This wasn't by chance. I've been watching this thing since day one.
Bro, not the actual PM is on the ground. Let's say the thing proper. The actual PM has been grounded.
He has been grounded, yeah, by the air controller, the flight controller.
He's been grounded.
Traffic controller.
Yeah, he's been grounded.
But seriously,
Pressure
we are looking at all these things. I mean, from day one, even there was a meeting, a press conference they had in the early stage. I think it was like 2022 down there. The same brother Redhead, a question came up about him about soliciting business in his office, and the PM at the time was saying what anybody could put anything on Facebook. Then you hear about vehicle has been sold and bought and all kind of nonsense. All these things. You have people right now, right, grifting off the NDC party, making money for themselves, not giving to the party, making money for themselves, and nobody even find nothing wrong with that. Where are the integrity people in NDC? Where is the Tim and Thomas? Where is the Aligil? I don't know if he's still there. Where the Nazimbo? Where the Mr. Integrity? Where are these people? I mean, NDC has become a party right now. They're just taking Grenadians for a ride. And lastly, again, I'll make a point again. The same said Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. He had an interview with Calistria Faria. She asked him about this gas thing in the police station. There were policemen saying this is not true. This is a life on the pit of hell. When she asked him about that thing, she said, Mr. Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, I have independently investigated and that is not the case. The man is shrugging shoulders. These are things that we're forgetting. We are forgetting all these lies and things that these men perpetrated, and we just going through it and we live in normal. You see brother doing Boston? Do Boston. Why didn't go on the cliff road there? Why didn't go to Urban, Woodlands? I mean, come on, we're taking too much now and we're just taking it and we just sit back and we say nothing and they support us. Oh, they're doing good. My God, children, watch. Have a good night, man.
All right, brother. All right, brother. We want to know. These people say they spend how much million in Carriacou right now. You can't get, and that's not the only problem in relation to payments and Carriacou, you know. You also have several contractors, people who were hired to do different jobs in Carriacou that have not been paid as well. Some of them trying to keep quiet because they're hoping that they will get paid and then get another contract. But if they talk now, seeing the arrogant, spiteful nature of the MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, they may not be able to get another job in Carriacou or outside of Carriacou in mainland Grenada under the auspices of the government of Grenada. So some of them trying to keep quiet, but they're sending out the message, yo, we ain't get we money, we ain't get paid. So you have contractors who ain't received their money there either. So a lot of lies. So what is the lies about the Prime Minister's residence? Show us. We ain't forgetting that, you know. Show us in the budget document where there's an allocation for the rebuilding or refurbishment of the Prime Minister's residence. Show us in the budget where that is. Show us where that is. I was watching GBN News and I see something else. You know, let's see something else from GBN News tonight in case you didn't get a chance to look at the news earlier.
And Bacolod Juvenile Rehabilitation Center resumed protest action on Tuesday, demanding a resolution to long-standing employment issues. My colleague, Rena Thomas, has this update.
Employees at the Grand Bacolod Juvenile Rehabilitation Center staged another protest Tuesday morning, voicing their frustration over unresolved employment issues, including long outstanding wage increases and retroactive payments. Supported by the union, workers held placards highlighting the financial struggles they face, noting that their current wages barely cover basic living expenses. Among their key concerns are the absence of an unsigned collective agreement, payment delayed since February, which leaves critical matters such as healthcare coverage and retirement benefits in limbo. According to Public Workers Union President Daisy Hazard, the workers and the union have received nothing but silence from the management of the center and the government of Grenada.
And so we are talking about an agreement which started, a draft agreement which started in 2022. So the question would be, how much longer could the union and workers be expected to continue to wait for a collective bargaining agreement to be signed so that they can have entrenched benefits? But we have not had any direct correspondence relating to the non-signing of the agreed on CBA and relating to the retroactive payments and so that are outstanding to workers. There's just been radio silence.
Hazard emphasized the sensitive nature of the workers' jobs and warned that continued neglect could force them to take drastic action.
The public must be aware that Grand Bacalet is a treatment facility for young offenders. It's a place where they are rehabilitated, where their education continues, and where they are made fit to re-enter society. And these are workers that are critical. And that was something that we did, and we had to do it, we were forced to do it. If it comes to that, whatever industrial action we are forced to take to ensure that this matter can be concluded swiftly, we will take it. But responsibly to this point, we have held off on just asking all of the workers to walk out of that facility because we are responsible.
Hazard is calling on both the government and the management of the rehabilitation center to act urgently and grant the workers what they rightfully deserve.
Management cannot pay unless the employer gives the go-ahead to pay. The employer is the government, the current administration of Grenada. The line ministry is the Ministry of Social Development. And so we are awaiting word. We are hoping. We know that Sister Gloria Thomas should be hearing this. And Sister Gloria, we are counting on you. We are counting on you as line minister to get this impasse, to get this situation resolved. We are counting on the board and chairman to get this situation resolved. But it's interesting that even after the workers took protest action last week, nothing has been said officially. Nothing has been communicated to the union.
Attempts by the GBN News team to contact Minister for Social Development, Gloria Thomas, was unsuccessful as calls were unanswered up to news time. Efforts to reach Minister for Labour, Claudia Joseph, also yield no response. Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
Yeah, GBN News. Thank you again. Yeah, somebody said what? Montreal is too masculine. The Prime Minister wants to put a feminine touch to it. I don't know. I don't know what. Let us come and say some kind of thing in them chat and oh God, oh yes indeed. Yes, folks, we have roughly 12 minutes remaining. 440-7377. You can't call direct. You need to call us on WhatsApp using that number. I know some folks are calling that number. They're not getting through because we are not at that number. We're not at that location. We're at a different location. So you've got to call us using the WhatsApp number. So 1473-440-7377 is where you can call to get us. And you will get us if you call that a particular number on WhatsApp. So what? Gloria in the garden, hiding, hiding, hiding. We Claudette too. Claudette, where art thou? Claudette, where art thou? We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Yeah, good night, brother. Good evening, brother Sheldon.
Good night, Pastor. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
All
Lying
right.
low. Yeah. Listen, brother Sheldon. It's amazing. I just cannot catch my breath, because I remember some years ago when we had this. Well, sorry to make mention of it again, but the briefcase issue. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We had so many of the opposing team calling for the resignation and the suspension of the Right Honorable Kit Mitchell. Right? Even when the inquiry wasn't completed. They wanted to see.
All of them have mutitis right now. They're suffering from a serious case of mutitis. They've lost their tongues.
Right. Right. And they had brought so much accusation on the former prime minister. This man left his comfort in the United States. You already know the whole story. To come here to rescue this country from, watch me, almost every crisis that passed, and we've been there, Dr. Mitchell and the NNP, through God's powerful grace, redeem us from it. Right? We had no insurance at the time, no insurance during the Ivan situation. But we recover friendly friends, countries, islands came to our rescue because of the integrity of the former administration. I heard a caller today on a program, and the honest truth is that this guy, he has no moral authority to talk and to even ask those questions that he asks. I mean, he has his democracy to do that. But you could see that he's looking at a one-side view, right? He hasn't, maybe have not lived in Grenada over the past 21 years, as he said, right? That we did nothing. And it still stayed with me that when the host asked him the questions, all he's trying to do is battering, exchanging, and making all kind of antics and so on. And weren't able to come to a conclusion to give the host that was asking the question a reasonable explanation for his view, right? Now, I want to ask the question, whether we still have an escrow account, and what is going on with that account, and even the consolidated fund. What's going on with his funds, with his accounts? We've been kept in the dark, right? We spoke last night about the Mount Sinai issue, and just this evening I've been doing some searches, and it appears that what we are coming up with, what we are seeing, it is the truth, right? Now, if our good friend Mr. Andreas and Bernard and the other gentlemen or men want to build a hospital or a teaching hospital, I suggest that the lands up there at Grand Bacalet, remember that land up there? Maybe they could ask the former administration, not the former administration, sorry, the former NDC, how to get around that property to build a hospital. Maybe they could do it privately, because it appears that that is going to be a private entity, a private hospital. All right, brother, so have a good night, and we got to keep on keeping on.
Of course.
Blessed night to you.
All right, same to you, Pastor. Yes, indeed, folks, we still have time. We could take one or two calls again if you all have got the time. I've just been going through the comments there. Some of them I cannot repeat, but I've been going through the comments there on the live, and we have a call online. Hello, good night.
Salute, brother.
Hey, brother, what's up?
Oh, going there. I realize I ain't got much time.
Yeah, but I with you.
But just a couple of things I wanted to point out. All right, so today, not today, a couple of days ago, I was looking at the administration site, right? And I noticed continuously you keep putting up the notice for the little girl that need the cancer treatment.
Yeah.
And when I looked at the donation section, like the stuff that it says most needed donation, stuff like the radio program, and I mean, actually to say that.
I am asking here, it's either looking to do something in the studio, or we're trying to help somebody. So you see the situation with the little girl, and we put up the account every single night. We try to help. With the NDC, it's always money for them and their pocket.
Yo, that is madness. That is madness.
That people said there. It's always money for them and their pocket.
That stuff could have been sorted out already. I have a question though. All right, so you remember the individual that was on a live at the beach segment a while back, and they had a lot of the same one with the guy offered like 100,000 or something for a reward or something like that. The name brand dude now, the Perry dude, Madea, the actor.
Yeah.
You can remember the dude, John T or Don T or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I remember the officers in a press conference saying like, okay, we're here saying there's only one situation that they haven't sorted out in the case log, and they know who it is, or they know how to get but they just can't get the person because. So I was wondering, is that to some diplomatic ties or something? Is this person connected to some people that is kind of untouchable? Like how does that go? Because if like people can extradite
Yeah, like
persons,
them be
right?
untouchable, you're not touching them all over. They ain't no one touching them. you see Auntie Jenny touching them. All who feel they're untouchable, Auntie
because
Jenny touching them.
there's some
all
rumors
over.
circulating now. You get me? So I'm just wondering, if there's that connection with some high-ranking individuals or individual that is in a position that, as you say, you need to touch it.
We'll be touching them all over.
Wait, I wasn't ready. Fadu. Last thing, I want to put out a request for all the individuals that like to tell the truth and don't like to be called liars. I would like some visual information about all the things that the government is saying that the people lying about. From the bad roads, to the bad housing, to the pay slips, the not getting payment, they're saying everything is being taken care of. So I'm saying if it's taken care of, then Grenada lying. And I don't know Grenada to be lying. They might stress the truth of it. They might embellish some things, but I don't know them to be liars like that. They might have them individuals. But Grenada as a whole, I don't know people like that. You plenty of bad manners, you get me? That's why I know it. So I would like to understand, is the government telling the truth? Or is the people crying out in Grenada lying? Because I'm seeing some, but I'm not seeing enough. I want to see the bad housing, the bad roads. I want to see pictures of that, visuals of that. You get me? All you need to talk.
You
know if it's
remember
AI or
last week we said as well. Not last week. Sorry, June last year. We said that one of the things people should do is try and keep a copy of their grocery bills. Now we know those because of the low quality of the paper and the ink, they fade. So snap a picture of it and keep it on your phone.
Snap a picture, facts. Keep it digital.
So
yes.
By now we should have had people who had snapped their own from June last year that would be able to watch it now and say, well, hey, yeah, look at the price now for the same items and look at the increase. Or if there's a decrease, look at the decrease. That we'll be able to do that because we must be able. The consumer price index is giving us a good indication. Right?
But I pay $11-12 for a small cabbage the other day.
Wow.
A cabbage, bruv. You get me? About $12, 12.6 or something and that's in a supermarket, yeah?
And remember again, the price of fresh fruits and vegetables, according to the consumer price index, has nearly increased by nearly 17%. It's 16.91 or somebody there, 61. So it's nearly 17%, but it's over 16%.
Well, bro, I think I need to get a workout program because I get a Santa belly just eating high carb food. When you start foods I could get, I can't buy fruits and vegetables and shit too costly, and I learned to plan shit.
Back into the kung fu.
Kung fu. Huh? Yeah, man. Back into the people. Do all I concern them from. All is with them, It's they're the ones that make the decision to have the things coconuts as it is.
Yeah.
So it's still on them. So yeah, people put out them videos, put out them pictures, send out the information. Now we get to know who's exactly lying because it don't make no sense me standing up for the people of Grenada and the people of Grenada lying to me. That's a bad look. You see, man? Yeah, that's a real bad look. Same way, salute.
All right, brother. Bless up. That's the Fado. I know my good partner in Barbados love to hear that. What this guy saying here? What are you saying here?
We have done so. The other thing is that we have to ensure that there is sufficient building materials, that we don't waste the contractor's time. So part of the challenge for us has been the inconsistent flow of building materials. And that has nothing to do with the contractors. And really and truly has not much to do with the government per se. Because
but Ole was owing the contractors in Carriacou $3 million. The Prime Minister now saying that the money should be ready. They might get it on Friday. That had nothing to do with government. That's why you kind of stumble over it because it have a lot to do with government. Don't you?
This is not just a Grenada issue or not just a Carriacou issue. Even here in Grenada, you have issue of material, not having. So today you have sand, tomorrow you don't have, etc. You have those situations.
Yeah, but what it have in Carriacou, people can't get because all in pay. Anyhow, yeah, watch. I think they only having press conference this week. If they're Auntie Jenny, are you going to press conference this week? Are you going to attempt to go to press conference this week? We wonder if they would let Auntie Jenny in if she attempts to go press conference. Ziggy, you might have to check me on too, or we might have to go to press conference this week. You know what day they having it? They having press conference. I feel that was a one and done week. If they having press conference, Ziggy, check me. Me and you might have to go press conference, but they can't tell me I'm not a media person. I've been involved in the media since the 1990s. Radio, television, newspaper, social media. I've been involved in every aspect from production to on air. Be it television, whatever it is, scripting, ads, you know it. Up to now, A1 Pest Control ad plays every morning. That's for the last 20-something years that ad has been played. The ad that I did back in about 2000, 2001 still plays every morning. Tell me I haven't been involved in the media. Even if you put 2 and 3 of some of the people in the media together, their amount of years still can't make up the amount of years that I have spent in the media. That's not a boast. That's just stating a fact. So Ziggy, me and you might have to go in, man. I might say use my recorder and I as the speaker. You understand? I go ask the questions and you go tape. You understand? Jenny go yesterday. I feel me and you have to go to that press conference when they having it, if it's tomorrow or whenever. Once the NDC having their weekly, in this case WEAKLY, their weekly press conference. Me and you might have to go in that press conference. Regulars! Yeah, me and you might have to go. Folks, that is about all the time we actually have for talking points tonight. Yeah, I know, we could do it another few minutes, but you know it does go. That is about all the time we have for talking points tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. Yeah, we have a lot more to talk about tomorrow night. So we kind of are cutting the music at 5 minutes. 5 minutes of music, and then we're going into the talk tomorrow night. Just because I was grabbing 1 or 2 things that I end up going as long as it went tonight. So tomorrow night, just 1 or 2, and then we're doing what we have to do. So folks, I am out. My name is Sheldon Scott. Whatever you say and do it safe and secure. Love each and every one of you. And remember to be kind to each other. Love each other. And love thy neighbor as thyself. All right? I am out of here. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Cause if I feel to play a mass, I go play mass. And if I feel to drink the